Getting the money you need to make big moves in the music business isn't easy, and so many of you don't even know where to begin. Since musicians often want funding and exposure, and let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there with money who love music or a big influence, but the two of them meeting isn't always so easy. And over the years, many people have tried to solve that problem, but it just hasn't worked out so well since the times weren't right, and frankly, many of the people who tried built really stupid tools. But recently a platform came to my attention that I think finally solves this problem of helping musicians connect with the people who can get their music exposed or help them get funding for it so it can get exposed. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how track deals can help fund your music and introduce you to a service called WallStream that helps make it so the people with influence or money can meet the people with good songs. So if you don't make like dance music, viral rap tracks, some pop music, or meme songs, you may be thinking, bruh, what the hell is a track deal? I ain't in the railroad business. So in the genres I just mentioned, a very common thing that happens is a label or someone with an influential playlist or someone with other influence like DJ Clout at a night or just a big account will come to an artist and say, hey big dog, nice song you got there. If you give me 20% of it for the next 4 years, I will make the streams go brr. And to prove how much faith I have, here's $25,000 up front. Now, that may be the best case scenario of all this stuff. I don't want to portray it that it's always going to be that much money up front or that there's even an upfront fee. But for those of you who don't speak meme, what burr means is the streams running up into the millions. Now, this can be because the person proposing the deal has a playlist company, an influencer network, knows some DJs who will play it. Their girlfriend runs an editorial playlist. One of those people whose names I can never get right, like Kylie Hadid, will post a thirst trap to your song on TikTok. Honestly, there's so many dumb ways people promote songs these days. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do? And to be honest, they will probably brag to you about the method they're gonna use to promote it, because what people who do this sure love to do is brag about how they do it. Hell, they simply may think you just have the talent and sauce and may want to push you, or they're seeing that your songs are already starting to work and pop off and know that if they partner with you, well, maybe you could both make money together. Now I know what is already happening here as you listen to this, is some of you have like steam coming out of your ears, and some of you just yelled, yo! And another third of you said, my songs are like my firstborn. I would never sell a percentage of them to anyone, including that witch that came to me in the night offering fame for it. And to that I say, damn, who knew that witch was real, who offered me my firstborn for a better life than niche YouTube influencer. I didn't know they really had the goods to make me a real famous YouTuber where I could make videos like this one. Anyway, another 1/3 of you just kind of went, what? So let me explain a little bit more of why this is so appealing to so many artists. So a lot of you are making art and really thinking about how you could really make moves if you just had the funding to do things like buy that Sony FX3 and a few lenses to make videos yourself, or buy a van to tour in, hire that brand agency to help with creative, or since I really know some of you really want to buy that Moog Poly synth so you can up your songs, but let's be honest, you really want to play with one of the coolest toys ever made. Anyway, what many artists I have talked to over the years have decided to do is make a track deal for a song or two, or even 10 for a few years so that they can get some exposure or upfront money to start kicking off their career or fund their project. They believe in themselves and see those few years where someone owns some of their songs and owns a piece of the pie as being what will help kickstart their career and get them to a better place. Hell, that's what record deals basically are these days for most artists, since a lot of them leave them eventually and go independent. But basically they see this as a means to an end to get more exposure or funding. They may need this money or increase in monthly listeners so that they can get to their dream director to work with them, or be able to afford a really sick producer mixer for their next LP, or finally get noticed by that feature person they want to have on track so they can really up their game by having enough monthly listeners that that person's impressed with them. Now, I believe some of you are starting to understand, but it may or may not be for you. So let me get into what makes WallStream, the sponsor of this video, the place to do this. WallStream offers ways for musicians to find partners with the skills, power, and resources to promote your music through revenue share deals. Whereas labels, curators, and influencers can effortlessly turn their cool playlist or channel into a profitable label and manage everything in one place. You can build and manage a portfolio of music, find fresh deals with ease, and turn your influence into steady income. WallStream handles the discovery, the interface to negotiate these deals, as well as the legally binding agreement between the artist and funder offering the deal. This along with tons of really great analytics and an interface to keep track of the deals. But I should say, it's not just funding funders. Some of you have yet to show any reason to partner on a track with anyone of influence, never mind in advance. These track deals can come from DJs who will put you in rotation or an influencer who will continually promote your track over time so that you can have a partnership in getting the song popular together and their outsized influence can pay. Now, one of the things about influencer marketing I know is many of you don't have the money to fund those budgets to actually make them work. But if the influencer is actually going to get you streams, this is a way to pay for it where you don't pay up front unless they deliver results and then they get a percentage. Artists can let the industry pros find them or pitch the ones they discover. You can release your music worldwide through their distribution service to Spotify, Apple Music, and hundreds more. You can create revenue share deals with partners who have the power to promote your music and share your successes with those who promote and believe in your music. Whereas for the labels and curators and influencers, they can review pitches, scout pre-released and released tracks to promote, communicate, negotiate, and close revenue share deals with artists, and earn ongoing royalties revenue from the music you promote for years on end. Now, in a world of meme coins, pump and dumps, and other scammers, I know a lot of you right now are getting a bad taste in your mouth that feels like hot Tua. And I was admittedly skeptical before I dug in and really vetted WallStream, since I've seen similar services before. So my team and I poked a lot of holes in this service. I talked to the founder, Tomer, for quite a long time and came to know he's just an entrepreneurial tech nerd who wanted to help his daughter's music career get off the ground, and so he built this service. But I do believe this service really has a lot to offer for the people who want to get into this type of stuff, and solves a lot of problems that have existed with these deals forever. Now, I do have to tell you, this should not entirely replace a lawyer with this service. In fact, I would never tell you to not consult a lawyer that knows your genre of music for anything, and particularly a lawyer who knows the standards of your genre of music, not your dad's Uncle Ted who bailed out your friend Ken from a DWI. That probably means he just drinks with the judge, not the record label people who make these deals and knows their standards and how to keep you from getting ripped off. But what I can tell you is one of the things I love about a marketplace like this is you can get offers and start to see what normal going rates are for tracks, since one of the biggest problems in creative industries is most people have no idea what anything costs, and this leads to artists being exploited, and this marketplace can help prevent that. Okay, but I'm sure you're curious what this looks like for an artist like you. First, you should make a free account and make a profile that shows what's unique about you, and of course put up tracks you'd want to welcome deals for. Create campaigns or proactively pitch to curators for priority consideration. And then for curators, labels, and professionals, search, scout, and review pitches, make offers to artists, and respond to your pitches. Then, when you and a curator are interested in your music, you can use WallStream's negotiation tools. Artists and curators engage in transparent negotiations in a live chat, setting clear expectations for deal terms, royalty splits, deal duration, etc. The track is then digitally released to over 100 streaming platforms, and both parties share future profits for a set time and promote the track together. You can manage your deal's performance, communicate with partners, track activities, and use WallStream's rating system to build your reputation and more. And as the track gains more listeners and streams, the royalties generated from the digital store are distributed among the parties per the deal's terms. You can manage your portfolio and look at clear analytics at any time and create smart links, and you can track all this and more on both mobile and desktop. And I should say, I know a lot of you find videos like this way more helpful if you could read them at your desk while your boss isn't looking, so you're in luck. If you want to read this instead, you should head to my newsletter, Music Marketing Trends, that does exactly that, so you can read these while you're working. Oh, and it's free to get tons of information just like this. But I know right about now, a lot of you are wondering what this costs. WallStream is free to join for anyone. Artists create free accounts, upload tracks, and their campaigns are live for curators to discover. If an artist wants to pitch directly to a curator, they can use credits. Credits are priced at $1 for 10 credits with volume discounts up to 20%. Curators set their own pitch terms, which can range from 0 to 100 credits to get pitched. Which, speaking of their credit system, WallStream has tons of cool ways to filter how artists and curators pitch in the system. You can filter potential partners by filtering things like reach and other factors, or by platform if you want to only find people who curate on Spotify, YouTube, or TikTok, etc. And you could also filter by genre. You can view metrics like reach on specific platforms, genres covered based on the actual content of their Spotify playlist, ratings, links to their socials, and websites, and this will help you do due diligence. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking,
Jesse, this sounds a lot like playlist push and submit hub.
Let me explain how it's different though. WallStream aims to get past the flaw of those systems, the immediate spike in streams that so many of you complain about that once you're dropped off a playlist, it disappears. Whereas many of WallStream's curators create long-term deals that continuously promote tracks for longer terms, even years, so that the artists don't see stream drop-offs. But for example, there's many of these YouTube curator channels that will influence a microgenre by finding the best new artists in that microgenre. You can use WallStream to strike a deal to get on one of those YouTube curator platforms, and if they deliver results for you, you pay them a share, and if they don't deliver, well, it was no upfront money out of your pocket. WallStream also has their chat portal, where you can upload the progress of the track's promotion, so you can see what everyone involved is doing and whether they're doing what they said they would do, and keep track of it. It also has great analytics to display the playlists you're added to and the stream counts from various platforms. And I know a lot of you worry about these curators with bot armies making these offers for track deals, but WallStream has protections against that, including a fine system. And if you already have track splits with producers and other collaborators, you can do them through WallStream as well. And I know a lot of you over the years have had people talk to you about investing in your music, but getting contracts drawn up with all these weird borders and confusing legal jargon can be so confusing. It can be like if you tried to get Ronnie Radke to grasp the concept of intersectionality. It's just a bit too much. But with WallStream, if your buddy Rick from the local bar is itching to invest some of the money he came into after divorcing an heiress into your music career, well, he can simply buy into that song he thinks is a hit. If he signs up for WallStream, and so do you, come to some terms and make a deal, the deal is as good as done. No fights or friendships destroyed since your deal is in place and everybody gets paid their fair share if things work out. One of the things I emphasize for artists is that DIY is often thought of as do-it-yourself, which I've always found silly rather than thinking of it as decide-it-yourself. WallStream can create some options, especially for artists who are wealthy and having a lot of tracks but not the ability to get their music heard and are looking for options that they can decide between. The reason I like it is we need more options for the artists who are stuck to figure out what they can do to get exposure. Since we all know the best way to promote back catalog and the other songs you have out is to have one get attention. Sometimes sacrificing some profits on one song can get you the exposure you need to get more people to notice your music. For that, I love that WallStream is one of the decisions that musicians can now choose from. So here's the thing, while you just learned all this, if you really want to grow your fan base, you need to understand how to pitch people so they get excited about your music, which is in the video on the screen right now or in the description. So make sure you watch that next if you really want to level up. Thanks for watching.